Conflict and Controversy of the Maryland State Flag by Brady Dean and Michael Colligan.
Have you ever looked at the Maryland flag and wondered where the red, white, black, and gold colors came from?
To look at the Maryland State Flag history, we need to go back to as far as 1648 to look at the two important families who played roles in making the flag.
First, we need to look at an important family called the Calvert family. This family was important because George Calvert was the first Lord of Baltimore. The colors that stood for the Calvert family were black and gold. These yellow and black banners lacked official sanction of the General Assembly, but appeared to have quickly become popular with the public as a unique and readily identifiable symbol of Maryland and its long history.
The next family we are going to look at is the Crossland family, whose colors were red and white. This family was important because it was George Calvert's mother's family. A symbol of resistance to the Union and President Lincoln, the red and white Crossland colors became the Maryland secession colors and were reproduced in banners and even children's clothing. So here we are at the Maryland State Archives. We got some good information here today, especially an interview by a woman named Vicky. And most of the information we got was from a book called The Story of the Maryland State Flag.
Welcome to the Maryland State Archives, and I understand you're interested in finding out about the Maryland flag, and this is our home page. So step one, we're going to look in the library catalog by clicking on this Find Records link, and then we'll choose the library catalog link. And in this case, we're just going to start with the simplest thing and put in the phrase or the word flag, and then click on search. And then it brings up alphabetically by the author's name what we have on various flags, and that's how we found this book, The True Story of Maryland's Flag by Francis Culver. And you were able to find helpful information there.
Now we're going to talk about an important man named George Calvert. England's King James I made Calvert the first Baron Baltimore in 1625. He came to the New World for commercial reasons, and because he was being persecuted as a Catholic, he came to settle in what we now call Maryland. Upon his death, he left the settlement he created to his oldest son, Cecil. Then, his second son, Leonard Calvert, was the first colonial governor of the province of Maryland. Now we are going to talk about the adoption of the Maryland flag. In the year 1904, the present flag of our state, for the first time, was adopted by legislative enactment under Chapter 48 of the Acts of the General Assembly of Maryland, entitled An Act of Formally Adopt and Legislation of the Maryland Flag.
During the Civil War, the citizens of Maryland were torn between support for the Confederates and the Unions. Confederates began using the red and white Crossland colors to identify themselves, and the Union supporters use the yellow and black Calvert colors. Our project relates to the National History Day theme because the Maryland flag uses two family crests for the two parts of the flag, black, gold, and red and white. Maryland was divided during the Civil War. The two parts of the flag represented opposite sides during the Civil War conflict.
Maryland flag has been described as the perfect state flag. Bold colors, interesting patterns, a flag that fairly shouts Maryland.
Baltimore City still uses the Calvert banner, though with a battle monument on a shield in the center. This is because of Baltimore's strong ties to the Calverts. After all, George Calvert's title, first Baron Baltimore, is what gave the city its name.
By the Civil War, the most common Maryland flag design probably consisted the Great Seal of the state on a blue background. These blue banners were flown at least until the late 1800s.
The Calvert family coat of arms was reintroduced in Maryland in an 1854 law that called for a new Great Seal based on the Calvert design. The seal, created pursuant to this act, contained several inaccuracies. And 1876, the General Assembly provided Foe a new Great Seal that conformed closely to the Calvert originally.
The Maryland flag continues to stir up controversy today. The crossland colors of the flag, red and white, are tied to supporters of the Confederacy. People today may think this means the flag supports slavery. Maryland's current governor, Governor Hogan, states the flag will stay the way it is. He quoted saying, "Not only is the Maryland flag a symbol of unity and pride, but is also the most beautiful and most recognized state flag in America."
The despot's heel is on thy shore, Maryland, my Maryland. His torch is at thy temple door, Maryland, my Maryland.